Community engagement provides an outlet where everyone, including the students, work in a professional capacity with all the community members, their peers, friends, and the instructor of their course, and rely heavily on teamwork and the skills that promote effective team building towards social transformation. This talk explains forms of community engagement that contribute to community development through solidarity. Welcome to the sixth module on community engagement, solidarity, and citizenship, where we are going to talk about the different forms of community engagement that contributes to community development through solidarity. This is your lecturer, Miss Apple. Here is our competency for this lesson. We are going to explain the different forms of community engagement that contributes to community development through solidarity. And the objectives for this presentation are as follows. Number one, explain the forms community engagement that contributes to community development through solidarity. Number two, identify activities or opportunities which leads to community development. Number three, assess the core principles of community engagement. And number four, value responsibility towards engaging in every community engagement, development, and in upholding solidarity to achieve community goals. What is community engagement? Community engagement is the process of working collaboratively with and through groups of people affiliated by their geographic proximity, special interests, or similar situations to address issues affecting the well-being of those people. It is a powerful vehicle for bringing about different environmental and behavioral changes that will improve the health of the community and its members. While there are almost many definitions out there as there are people trying to define it, in the simplest terms, community engagement seeks to better engage the community to achieve different long-term and sustainable goals, outcomes, processes, relationships, discourse, decision-making, or implementation. To be successful with this, it must encompass strategies and processes that are sensitive to the community context in which it happens. It involves partnerships and coalitions that help mobilize resources and influence systems, change relationships among partners, and serves as catalysts for changing policies, programs, and practices. Community engagement is therefore a very strategic process with the specific purpose of working with different identified groups of people, whether they are connected by their address, their interests, or connections, to identify and address issues affecting their well-being. The linking of the term community plus engagement serves to broaden the scope, shifting the focus from the individual to the collective, with associated implications for inclusivity to ensure consideration is made of the diversity that exists within any community. Here are the different forms or types of community engagement. Community engagement takes a variety of forms. The four types are: first is community engagement with a focus on community development or community building. A lot of community engagement is focused on community development and community building. Community engagement in this context covers two different aspects. First, it involves community members in an important underpinning of many bottom-up approaches. Second, a feature of strong communities is high level of social capital, and so community building often focuses on encouraging people to be actively involved in their community generally. The second type is about community participation in consultation and decision making. Many organizations, including our schools and different schools, health services, government departments, and planners, need to consult communities about a range of different issues. By involving the community in peaceful ways, this consultation can be more than tokenism. A tool that many practitioners find useful is a Spectrum Public Participation by the International Association of Public Participation, or IAP2. The third type is community engagement that helps organizations and businesses or etc. to improve their service delivery or to achieve their goals. Feedbacking is a necessary tool to an organization if this form of engagement is to be met. The organization needs to design feedbacking instruments so that it can be made aware of different strong and weak points. Most times, feedbacks help organizations improve on their delivery of service, thus helping them achieve different organizational goals. Here is the last community engagement form. Community engagement as part of social change movements or as part of the work of voluntary community organizations. Community engagement by social change movements and community groups can have similarities with the other types, but there are also differences. Often, the focus of the first three types is where an organization that is not part of the community, like for example a government department, is wanting to engage in a community. Quite often, these organizations are power holders and are able to implement decisions. Social movements and voluntary community groups are often part of the community and need to rely on others for funding or to implement decisions. It seems to me that this creates a different dynamic process. Moving on, let's talk about the 7 principles of public engagement, which are useful when thinking about engaging the community in consultation and decision making. The first one is careful planning and preparation. Through adequate and inclusive planning, ensure that the design, organization, and convening of the process serve both a clearly defined purpose and the needs of the participants. Second is inclusion and demographic diversity. Equitably incorporate diverse people, different voices, different sets of ideas and information to lay the groundwork for quality outcomes and results and democratic legitimacy. Third principle of public engagement is collaboration and shared purpose. Support and encourage participants, the members of the community, government and community institutions, and others to work together and hand in hand to advance the common good. Fourth one is openness and learning. Help all involved listen to each other, explore new ideas, unconstrained by predetermined outcomes, learn and apply information in ways that generate new options, and rigorously evaluate public engagement activities for effectiveness. The fifth principle is all about transparency and trust. Be clear and open about the process and provide a public record of the organizers, sponsors, outcomes, and range of views and ideas expressed. The sixth principle is impact and action. Ensure each participatory effort has real potential to make a difference and that participants are aware of that potential. The last principle of public engagement is sustained engagement and participatory culture. Promote a culture of participation with different programs and institutions established that supports ongoing quality public engagement. Here are different benefits of community engagement, starting with moral building. Moral building is an encompassing sense of confidence and satisfaction about the work we do that cannot be handed out or forced on anyone. Instead, it has to be developed and nurtured by those people who lead in the community. Second one is professional development. Professional development is gaining new skills through continuing education and career training after entering any specific workforce. Third one is brand or status recognition. Fourth is recognized as a valued member of the community. Recognize as a valued member of the community by offering useful information, thoughtful opinions, and generous support to those around you. You're behaving in a meaningful and authentic way by adding true value to the community. Practical ways you can add value to a group may include offering your support and guidance when a group member is struggling. And last one is aligning activities with the organization's values. In this moment, we are going to talk about solidarity. So what is solidarity? Solidarity is an awareness of shared interests, objectives, standards, and sympathies, creating a psychological sense of unity of groups or classes. It refers to the ties in a society that bind people together as one. Solidarity is about more than unions. It's about working with people on the things that matter to them. It is also about removing the boundaries that prevent us from working together. It is about believing that what hurts my neighbor also hurts myself, that when I need a neighbor, I have no right to expect help if I have not first helped others. It is both an emotion and a goal, a process and a state of being. Solidarity in action, promoting national and global community action. Medical researchers around the world are involved in an unprecedented collaboration to test experimental treatments for COVID-19. When Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus, the Director General of WHO, or World Health Organization, announced the initiative in mid-March, he called it the Solidarity Trial. Across the globe, Local expressions of solidarity appear to be spreading as individuals take it upon themselves to act on behalf of others in need. From the World Health Organization to government leaders and citizen actions, expressions of solidarity may appear to be a good and common sense response to the crisis. Yet, as American author Barbara Ehrenreich suggests, fascists, religious zealots, or nations at war also unite in solidarity to advance their agendas. Some groups can mobilize solidarity for destructive purposes. While solidarity may be a fundamental human need, the meaning of solidarity and what it requires of us is still elusive. In my work as a teacher, I explore how realizing solidarity depends on education. Teaching for solidarity requires relationships, intentions, and actions grounded in explicit ethical and political commitments. I am interested in how the values that underpin these commitments define the differences between the words us and them. Whether we are confronting a pandemic, global warming, income inequality, racism, or gender-based violence, solidarity still depends on how we come together. It is defined by how we understand and enact our responsibilities to and responsibilities and relationships with each other. Here are the four types of solidarity, and I'll present the first two types. First one is universalistic solidarity. The first universalistic solidarity suggests all human beings have a moral duty to work together for the benefit of all. This is implied whenever someone says, "We're all in this together." While compelling, this view of solidarity ignores differences and potential conflict between the needs and values of different groups. It overshadows how the impact of a crisis isn't equal among different groups. The second type of solidarity is what we call civic solidarity. Civic solidarity or civil solidarity is the essence of civic solidarity that we don't necessarily have a personal relationship with those on whose behalf we take action. Civic solidarity involves an indirect commitment through taxes or charity contributions. Practicing physical distancing is also an act of civic solidarity. Lacking a personal sense of connection to and reciprocity with those who benefit from civic solidarity can undermine solidarity efforts, which may lead to the need for legal enforcement. Third type of solidarity is social solidarity. Social solidarity refers to how societies stick and bond together, but also to how certain groups act together as a community to protect their interests. Maclean's magazine's contributing editor Stephen Maher suggests that in the United States, Donald Trump supporters' acceptance of the president's early response to the virus, which downplayed its possible impact, reflected low levels of social solidarity. A strong sense of social solidarity is crucial for advancing all kinds of political agendas and values. Last solidarity type is political solidarity. Political solidarity revolves around issues of inequality related to class, racism, sexism, and other forms of discrimination. Political solidarity usually involves one group acting in support of another, even though groups may not be affected equally by injustices. Political solidarity raises questions about identification, privilege, and reciprocity. In this moment, we are now on the last slide of this presentation, where we're going to talk about the three critical aspects of solidarity. Whatever form we invoke, it's helpful to remember three aspects of solidarity with number one. Solidarity is always about relationships. We cannot be in solidarity alone. Who are we in solidarity with, and what defines that relationship? Second one is, solidarity always requires us to be intentional about our commitments. What is the aim of our solidarity, and where do those commitments come from? Number three, solidarity requires actions that also changes us, perhaps even a sacrifice. What am I willing to do and give up in order to ensure the well-being of others, whether they are like or unlike me? Here are the corresponding authors, books, articles, and links for your reference. Thank you so much for your time today. And before I end this presentation, I would like to share to you a very popular quote from George Bernard Shaw. I am of the opinion that my life belongs to the whole community, and as long as I live, it is my privilege to do for it whatever I can. I want to be thoroughly used up when I die, for the harder I work, the more I live. Every one of us has a purpose in life wherein we want to achieve, and Shaw's outlook in life must be adapted by every one of us. Being used up in a positive manner can also be illustrated as a candle, being used and melted away just to bring lightness to the ones in the dark. For us to be used for our purpose that is beneficial to ourselves and also others can be the true joy of life. He wanted his life to be meaningful and reproductive so that the future generation would benefit from it. We should apply our whole effort for the betterment of our lives and also the lives surrounding us in order for us to live harmoniously. Once again, thank you so much for listening. This is your lecturer, Miss Apple, and have a great day.